Hello everyone. Before I start the story, I'd like to say here that this is one of the most difficult things that I have had to go through in my life. And so I'll try to be as vulnerable as I can so that people who are currently going through a layoff, who lost their jobs, who had to resign from their jobs, and they're trying to navigate this current job market looking for another job, would draw inspiration from my story, and they would see that if I could make it, they can. If I could come out of the depression, they can. And so I'm going to share the story in parts. This will be part one, and this will be day one of my layoff. And so, yeah, before I go on to the actual story of day one, I'll just give a brief background. I was in Toronto in 2023, where I had been for 4 years since I came to Canada. And so I was looking for a job at the time when I got this job. I had quit my full time job a few months before then. And so I got this job. I was excited, even though I had to move to a smaller town where I knew no one, where I had never been to before, but I was excited because this job was going to be uh, a good advancement in my career trajectory, basically. And so, yes, I said goodbye to my friends and all that I had known since I came to Canada, and then I moved to this small town. Things were going well. It was a startup. We were doing things were going okay for where we were at, and so of course, we were trying to get clients. We're still new. We're trying to get clients. We hadn't gotten as many clients as we had anticipated. But anyway, we're trying to get clients. So we launched in October. I moved in August of 2023. We launched in October. And then February, February 15th of 2024, I was supposed to have an event. I had planned an event with a big pharmacy in Canada where I've been trying to secure this partnership with this pharmacy for the longest, and so I was excited to have been able to secure that partnership. And so this day was the event, their seniors day event, where I was going to attend with my colleagues. We're going to set a table, so I was excited to do that. But I was going to have a meeting with my boss, our usual weekly one-on-one meeting. It was supposed to be on Wednesday, that's the previous day, but she had moved it to today. And so I woke up, got dressed, of course, showered, got dressed. I was excited for this event, got things ready so that after the meeting, I would go straight to the event, straight to the pharmacy to start the event. However, when I woke up, I got a text from my boss saying, could we meet in person? Now, we usually do our one on one virtually. So when she said, could we meet in person? I thought that was strange because we had never met in person for our meeting. But I just thought, oh, sure, why not? And she said, please meet me at the accountant's. I'm like, oh, for sure, please send me the address. So she sent me the address of the accountant's, and I got dressed, put all the things that I needed for the event in the vehicle. I had an official car. The company gave me an official car. Got into the official car, got to the accountants, and then my boss ushered me into this office. I had never been to that office before. We did not have a brick and mortar because we're still a startup. We're hoping that we're going to get a brick and mortar um, when we start making money, right? And so I made a joke when she was ushering me in to say, I said, oh, do we now have an office space here? And she smiled. She ushered me into a room, told me to sit down, and then she was right in front of me with her laptop. And then bear in mind, she had asked me to come with my laptop, and I was like, oh, for sure, I will come with my laptop. I mean, how would I have a meeting with you without my laptop? And so I came with my laptop. I opened my laptop, and then she had her laptop opened right in front of her. And so as I opened my laptop, she was like, oh, this is going to be a difficult meeting. When she said that, I didn't think much of it. I just said, oh, okay. So I thought she was just going to talk about the fact that we didn't have as many clients as we had anticipated before now. And so I thought that was going to be the conversation, how to get more clients for the business, blah, blah, blah. When she said that, I looked at her, I'm like, oh, okay. And then she just started to read a script. She looked at her laptop and she started to read a script. And she goes, your employment from company blah 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 has been terminated without cause, effective immediately. This is how I was. I was shocked. I was numb. I didn't understand what it was, as if she was speaking Greek. Of course, she was speaking English, but it was as if it was gibberish in my ears. And so I just paused and she said, can I have the laptop? I have changed your password. And I gave her the laptop and she said, what is the password? I told her the password and she said, do you have any personal things in this laptop? At that moment, I couldn't even think. I was like, I don't know, I can't. And then I tried to unlink my personal email address, and then she said, "Do you want to take some moments to delete the personal things that you had?" At that point, I was like, "No, I couldn't even think. I'm like, nothing. Just do with it whatever you want to do with it." And then she goes, because I came with the official car, the company car, she goes, would you like me to drop you off at home? Or would you want me to call you a taxi? The first thing that came to my mind is, why would I want to be in the same car with you? And so I thought, you know what? Please call me a taxi. So I responded and said, could you please call me a taxi? And she said, okay. So that meant that she was going to take the official car right there and then. Remember, she had just taken the laptop and then she was going to take the official car right there and then. So she ushered me out. I wore my jacket and then she walked me to the official car, gave me a box to remove all my personal things from the official car, and then she told me thanks. I forgot to mention that she asked if I had any questions. At that point, I didn't have any questions. Like, I was still shocked, I was numb, and yeah, I had no questions. And so I think I was shaking, I'm not sure, but I was numb. And I took my things out of the car, put it in the box, and she said thank you. At that time, the taxi had already come. And so I got into the taxi. I'll stop here now. Remember, I said it's going to be in parts. If you want to hear more of the story, how I survived, what I did afterwards, stay tuned. But before now, please send this or share this with someone who is currently going through a layoff so that they can follow the series and they can draw inspiration from my story. Thanks.